Let's start. All right. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome into Clint's Critter Chats. How y'all doing? Hopefully everybody's here. What's up, my Jin? What you see behind me is an alligator's nesting site. So we're going to wait for a few more people to show up, see if anybody actually shows up, and then we're going to get started on Clint's Critter Chats. Until then, oh, hello there. We're talking about the American alligator today. We're just waiting on a few more people. Give me just a moment, guys. All right, I'm back, guys. Hello. Oh, yeah, Shuck's doing great. All right, since we got a few people in here, let's go on ahead and get started on Clint's Critter Chats, okay, guys? What you see behind me is the nest of an American alligator, which is usually built between about early July, mid-June, and it's made out of mud, sticks, vegetation, just anything that'll rot and produce heat. And they'll lay between 35 eggs, and they'll put them in this mound right here. And the mother will guard them. Let me see. Boom. The mother will guard her nest vigorously. She will not leave. She will barely eat. She will make sure that those eggs hatch. Guys, that's the thing about an alligator. They're very, very, very dominant about their territory, and they will definitely protect their young. A lot of people used to think that alligators ate their own young because when the eggs hatch, the mother alligator carries the babies in their mouths to the water. And so our old pioneer friends that first came over here thought she was eating them. But in reality, she was dropping them off, just making sure they got safely to the water. Something turtles could learn from. But anyway, so we have the eggs hatching between mid-August to early September, which is also breeding season. That's the time whenever the big males want to mate and the females are getting ready to mate again. So it's actually a very dangerous time for baby alligators, which if you've never seen a baby alligator, these are the babies. Adorable little suckers, and yes, they do have stripes when they're first born, like you see here. American alligators have stripes like that because it helps the babies to blend in. How long does it take for alligator babies to hatch? About 65 to 68 days is how long it takes for the American alligator's eggs to hatch. I was getting there, Jin. Thank you for the question. And guys, they're not real big. They're between 6 to 8 inches long, and they're mostly tail. So when they're little bitty like this, guys, they can't really do much to you. Even when they get about a skull about this size, they really can't do nothing to you. It's just a nice little pinch. But they do have some little teeth on them, though, so it does feel like a nice little pinch from a thorn vine. But other than that, American alligators start out really small and work their way up. They're also on the lowest part of the food chain within this little. The only thing that fears them is bugs and minnows, maybe a frog. But other than that, they don't eat big prey items, guys. They eat something they can kill in a single bite, even the adults, guys. So you won't ever really find an alligator taking anything larger than something it can literally just kill in a single go and not have to fight. So when we see pictures or videos of alligators attacking hogs, that's a big gator. You know, when we see those pictures of alligator swimming along with a deer in his mouth, that's a really big gator. You know, so you guys got to remember that. You know, it takes a 13-foot alligator to want to tackle a deer. What's up, Daheem? How you doing? We're talking about the American alligator right now. And guys, the babies are absolutely adorable. Like I said, they do lose these stripes when they get older. They end up turning black, which is funny because everybody thinks an alligator is gray, or green. But as you can see, the alligators are not green. Here's another little baby. This is the eggs. Like I said, they hatch between 65 and 68 days. They hatch in late August to early September. And they're actually in more danger after they hatch than they are, you know, any other times in their lives. Oh, don't worry about that. You're not late. But they're in more danger right now in this little state as these little guys right here than they're in any other danger the rest of their lives. And the reason being is because bass will eat them, catfish will eat them, snakes will eat them, raccoons will eat them, possums will eat them. Everything's going to want to eat them. And the reason being is because they don't want them to grow up to eat them. So, yeah, they're going to raid these nests, raccoons, possums, everything like that. That's why the mother has to take good care of it and watch over them, you know, guys. And it takes a long time. You know, it takes 65 to 68 days sitting there with nothing to eat, watching your kids. The only thing you get to eat is whatever comes your way to mess with your kids. So, guys, alligators are some stout sons of guns. You know, they're some strong creatures. The mother will guard her nest this entire time. She will not let anything near it. If it does get near it, you're lucky she went out hunting because she's too hungry. So, as you can see, they got between 75 and 76 teeth. And these teeth are meant for grabbing. They're conular shaped. They're not meant to rip or tear. So if they grab you, it's all puncture. You know, it's mainly the pressure of that mouth that hurts a lot. I've been bitten by a 4-foot alligator, and that hurt a lot. Like a lot. And he was only 4 foot long. He almost broke my arm. But these little guys' teeth are meant to just hold. And that's why they do the death roll, to be able to tear their food up. But in this case, the mother uses her teeth specifically to protect her young. And if anybody gets too close, they get bit. You know, guys, I had an incident where I was a kid where I was playing around out in the marshes behind my house. And I found a whole bunch of baby alligators. So I started grabbing them up. I wanted to bring them all home. You know how a kid is. And I heard a big, giant splash from the other side of the marsh. I knew exactly what was coming my way. So I dropped all but one baby alligator and I hauled butt. And guys, she chased me. She chased me up a tree for that baby alligator. And she waited until she thought I ate it, until it quit making noises. Because baby alligators, they'll make a specific noise when they're in danger or they're asking for their mother, which is a oh. They'll make that kind of noise. And that attracts the mom, but it also attracts big males. You know, they want to eat that little baby. They want their offspring to have a better chance. You know, so and because they can't tell whose offspring is whose, they just eat everything. So alligators are cannibalistic. But as you can see here, they lay between 35 to 40 eggs in every single nest. They're just arranged in a nice little circular pattern. These are people collecting eggs to be able to take and help with an alligator breeding program, possibly in a gator farm or something like that, where alligators are farmed for their meat and their hides. Because, guys, that was why we almost hunted the American alligator to extinction. People wanted the hide. People wanted the really pretty alligator hide, and they wanted all that meat. This is a close-up right here of an alligator's head. This is still a young alligator, but I want you guys to notice all these little white, or all these little black dots here. All these little black dots here are all electrical sensors. These help the alligator to hunt in water even when it's pitch black. This also allows them to be able to sense when they're close to their prey on the bank so that they can actually strike. How many types of alligators are there? There's only two. The Chinese alligator and the American alligator. Those are the only two alligators that exist. The rest are caimans, crocodiles, gharials. So those are all the types. What's up, Sean? We're talking about the American alligator. Now, the largest American alligator on record, which as you can see, this is a full-grown adult, guys. Look at them teeth. This is a big male, and he's doing what they call gaping. Now, what gaping is where they sit there with their mouth wide open, and they just let air evaporate. They just let moisture evaporate out of themselves, and it cools themselves down. So that's what this big guy's doing here. He's not looking to eat nobody. He's not yawning. He's gaping, which allows him to cool off, similar to dogs panting. And the largest alligator ever recorded was 19 feet long, guys. That's a big gator. Now, the largest we have on modern record is 14 feet, which he lives, believe it or not, here in Southeast Texas, right down the road from me at Gator Country. His name is Big Al. Yeah, submandible pores. You're very, very right. I used a basic term for it, Sean, because I didn't think anybody else would understand that. So thank you for actually saying what it really is. They're also called areolae of Lamenzini, which is the actual scientific name for it, areolae of Lamenzini, which is just electrical receptors. Sharks have the same thing. Pike have the same thing. Alligator gar have the same thing. Some snakes have the same thing. It's really neat. What's up, Busy Lizzie? But it's interesting how convergent evolution can happen, because you can see those little black dots right here along his jawline. Those little black dots are the areolae of Lamenzini. They look like freckles on an alligator. They kind of do. They look like freckles, but they're not freckles at all. They're meant to help him hunt. All right, let's get a new picture up here. All right, so yeah, guys, this is a typical male American alligator. That's a typical size. They usually range between 9 feet now and about, you might catch an 11-footer. And then that'll be about your average size, guys, is 9 to 11 feet. And that's still a big animal. They're still pushing a ton. But these guys are slow. It is true. These guys are slow unless they're in that water, guys. If they're in that water, you best get out. That's their territory. That's their turf. They're much better than you at it. The old saying of running a zigzag if they're ever chasing you, never. You'll wear yourself out before that alligator wears out. They can gallop at 35 miles an hour for 150 yards. So your best bet is to haul butt to a tree and climb. And that's only if they are really after you, guys. I've never seen an alligator actually run that far, and I've dealt with them my whole life. So, it's a little interesting to learn that they can gallop at that speed for that far. I don't think the big ones can do it, but the little guys, oh, they definitely can. They can move, guys, whenever the little ones want to. They can get out of there. The big guys tend to be pretty slow. They only use bursts of speed when they need it, especially when they're hunting. Now, there are color variants, like this guy right here. He's not a true albino. He just doesn't have any pigment in his skin. But he's got blue eyes, which is cool. So yes, you can have albino alligators or white alligators. They're becoming more and more popular for zoos and pet owners and things of that sort. This particular one's name was Snowflake at the Houston Zoo. And he was a nice, good little old alligator for a long time until they traded him to San Diego. But, yeah, you can have albino alligators. Most of the time, though, however, you can see that the American alligator is a black to gray with some tan or brown. And that's about it. They're not green like everybody thinks. So, guys, come on in. Have any questions? Come on ahead and ask them. Also, the American alligator's skull is designed in a specific way. As you can see here from this little model of one that I have, you know, they're designed with their noses above water and their eyes above water. This is the eye sockets right here. This is the nose, and of course, right behind the eye socket, right about there, if I could get the camera to work right. All right, let me take off the green screen real quick. No, not retouch. The green screen, you stupid idiot. I hate cell phones. All right, so you can tell by this little skull here. This is your ear hole. That's your eardrum for an alligator. That's your eye, nostrils. And this little guy right here, believe it or not, doesn't look like it serves a purpose. But that hole actually strengthens the jaw because it allows for muscles to go through here to tighten down and be able to secure that area. There's a lot of tendons that run through right here because all that fat that you would see on the side of an alligator's head is not actually fat. That's actually muscle. That's the muscles used to clamp down. Not open, just clamp. So guys, an alligator's bite force is all in shut in his mouth. It's not in his opening of his mouth. That's why you see people that can take alligators and crocodiles and hold their mouths shut with their chin and do this. It's because the muscles that open the mouth are very weak, while the muscles that slam the mouth shut are stupid strong. You know, and this is where an alligator gets all of its bite force. Because you see, the American alligator, you know, it wants to be able to kill something in a heartbeat, but it also has to be able to crush through turtle shells and armored fish, like the alligator gar. You know, those are two things that they really go after. Oh, you're all good, Chester. We're talking about the American alligator right now. But, you know, guys, they live in several different kinds of habitats. You can find them in lakes. You can find them in brackish water. You can find them in ponds, streams, creeks, bogs. You know, wherever there's a good body of water and a decent temperature, you'll find an American alligator, you know, if you look hard enough. But that's only if you're here in the Southeast mostly. Good morning. We had rain, but it did not help at all. I am so sorry. Yes, definitely talking about alligators. So yeah, ERT, we're in here talking about the American alligator. Guys, if y'all do have any questions whatsoever, go on ahead and feel free to post them down below. Otherwise, wait until the next 12 minutes. So yeah, we're praying for you, ERT, man. We really, really are. We should be sending trucks loaded with water up there to you guys to be able to take and help y'all fight those fires. I don't know why America's not doing anything to help y'all, but we're going to see what we can do. Okay, I'm going to call my senator, and I'm going to see if we can get some volunteer work out there for you guys. But anyway, so the American alligator, you know, these guys grow their entire lives. They never stop growing. I'm doing great today, Raymond. Talk about the American alligator. What's the difference between alligators and crocodiles? Don't crocodiles have like wider jaws and smaller else? No. The American alligator has got a large, broad snout like this right here. Let me pull her up. They have a large, broad snout. Oh, you can't really see that one. Maybe this one. Nope. Definitely that one. All right. As you can see, he's got a large, broad, well, poo. He's got a large, broad, flat snout. And it's very shovel-like. It's very spade-like because alligators tunnel, guys. A lot of people don't realize this, but alligators dig tunnels. That's how here in Texas they survive the winter. They dig tunnels up inside of riverbanks and stuff, and they go to sleep up in there. They can dig for miles. But when an alligator closes his jaws, as you can see from this little model here, only the front teeth are visible. Only the top teeth are visible. But yet when a crocodile closes its mouth, you can see every tooth in that sucker's head. Not only that, but a crocodile has got a triangular pointed snout. And crocodiles tend to be more aggressive. They tend to take larger prey. And it's just, crocodiles have got a much more bad attitude. Just woke up an hour ago. I got you, man. And oh, you're all good, Chester. Let's see here. Where am I at, Chester? I'm at my own home. I'm in my own bedroom. But anyway, so yeah, we've got the American alligator, and the fact that these guys are huge. You know, they can get, the largest one on record was 19 feet in the 1800s. The largest one on record today is 14 feet. And that's Big Al, who lives not that far away from me, actually, in gator country. But alligators are prehistoric. They've been around for hundreds of thousands of years. And before them, America had to contend with the Dinosuchus, which was an alligatorid, which was, you're talking about a 50-foot alligator. You know, these guys were big. You know, they were dinosaur eaters. And, you know, alligators have evolved very little over time. They've just gone from being big to being smaller. That's it. You know, and that's all they did, was they just got a little smaller. You know, but we still got some up to 19 feet out there, guys. You know, there was a picture of an alligator taken flying over Sam Rayburn, a lake really close to where I live. And that picture puts that alligator estimated at 17 feet. That's a big gator. Not only that, we've got old ironhead that swims around out here in my territory that is said to be 16 foot. So, you know, alligators can get massive and they're durable. You know, I've seen pictures of alligators with their bottom jaws missing. They're still alive. About how many times have you seen alligators? Man, I can't count that, Chester. I can't count that. I've seen them too much. I've seen a lot of them. Not as many crocodiles as alligators, but I've seen a lot of alligators. Yeah, that alligator is massive. Guys, give me just a little bit of time. I've got to walk my shuck. He's going nuts. Stay shut. Come on, shut. Sorry about that, guys. I'll be right back. All right, guys. We are back for the show. So, talking about the American alligator. All right, what's up, Gilbert? So yeah, the American alligator. In the last little bit, I'm probably going to get out. Let's get out their diet and their habits, shall we? All right. So American alligators. You know. All right, what's up, Gilbert? How you doing? Who'd you used to be? But anyway, we're talking about the American alligator and how big they can get and how large they can be and everything like that. Spampton or Pixel Riot? Okay, cool. Welcome back, Pixel Riot. Oh, man. Let me do something here. Let me throw this picture up again. All right, the American alligator. It is the largest apex predator in America, just so you guys know. When it comes to freshwater, it is the largest freshwater apex predator that America knows, and that makes it have a wide variety of prey items that it feeds on. Now, most of these prey items are going to be something small, like a raccoon, something like that. They're going to want to go for my hat's right here, man. I took it off because my AC's not up to snuff right now. I got to drain it. It's a little hot in here. But my hat's right here, guys. But yeah, the American alligator wants to feed on something small, like I had said earlier. So they're looking for something like turtles and fish. That's their main diet, is turtles and fish. But they will eat egrets. They will eat possums, raccoons, hogs, deer. I've even heard stories of them fighting black bear from Louisiana. Oh yeah, Chester, I am back. You know, and I've even heard of them fighting alligators from actual cage, or fighting black bear from actual cages. That was interesting. Oh, I got you, Chester. I just had to walk my dog. He had to go potty. But yeah, guys, the American alligator is one of my favorite creatures. It really is. Its name stands for Alligatorus mississippius. You know, but their main goal is not to eat man. You know, that's one of their things. I got you. I got you, man. But these guys right here, you know, they would rather eat a fish and would rather eat a turtle before they'll ever want to eat you. And it's because you're going to put up a fight. That turtle and that fish, as soon as they're bit, they're done. You know, their internal organs are crushed, their spine's broken, everything's messed up. So they're able to just eat it and crush it up whole and swallow it. So guys, because alligators like to swallow chunks whole. You know, that's why they do the death roll, which is very, very rare. What they'll actually normally do if they catch a large prey item is they'll stuff it up underneath a log or something like that and let it rot for a little while. So it's easier to tear apart. They're not like crocodiles that mainly go for large prey. You know, alligators go for smaller animals. You know, they don't really want the large prey. You know, it's too much of a hassle for them. Now, he a big gator. Like, he a big old boy. Like, say, Big Al from Gator Country, who's 14 feet. Be a little worried. Be a little worried. That one's big enough to take you. But if he's anything below 10 feet, he's not wanting to mess with you. You're too much hassle. So a good-sized alligator, you know, a modern good-sized alligator would be no problem. You know, you just got to swim on. However, don't swim in their territory during August. That is breeding season, and the males are aggressive. So they're going to bite anything swimming in their territory that looks big enough to be another animal that they would have to worry about. Looks big enough to be another alligator. So they're going to bite because, guys, their vision isn't the best. It's good, but it's not the best. Okay, guys? So they can be tricked easy by optical illusions. You know, especially when they go underwater, they have two sets of eyelids. They have one set that just goes down, and they have one set that comes from the side. Now, the set that comes from the side acts like a built-in pair of goggles for alligators when they dive. And it's an eye protection for whenever they go to actually eat their foods. How fast do they swim? They've never actually clocked an alligator swimming at full speed because they only do it for short bursts. They don't do it for very long. But it's estimated that they can do double their run time. So 35 miles an hour, double that. They should be able to swim at 70. You know, guys, that's a fast moving critter. You know, if you can swim at 75 miles an hour, that is whoa. You know, I don't want to be anywhere near you because you're going to catch me before I get out of that water. I might as well start looking like old Tim Allen off of Jungle to Jungle and start running on water to get away from y'all butt. But, you know, guys, that's some incredible speed that they got. And not only that, but that speed is mostly used for ambush, guys. They want that speed to get what they're getting and get gone. You know what I mean? Check out some videos. Yes, they can run 35 miles an hour. Daily reminder to hydrate. Got you, my friend. Got you, nobody really. Welcome into the chat again. We hadn't seen you in a long time. Thank you so much for being here. We're talking about the American alligator for the next few minutes, and then we're going to do a hangout. Okay, guys? Godspeed. Yeah, basically. You know, so yeah, when an alligator decides he wants to move, he can get up and move. But the bigger ones have some trouble doing it. Because, yes, you are right. For them little stubby legs, they got some speed for a short amount of time. But they can't maintain it. The other thing about alligators that I'm going to mention, just to finish it out, okay, guys, and that way we can go straight into the hangout, is, guys, now they're being farmed. We used to hunt them all the time. But now we have alligator farms around here, and these farms produce all of your alligator meat. They produce all of your alligator hide. You know, that's why it's so expensive. In fact, if I could, I would have opened up my own alligator farm, but I never got the funding for it, you know, and I couldn't get the amount of money for the license. But I'd love to have my own alligator farm. Don't alligators and crocodiles like eat every week or two? It depends on the size of the meal. If a crocodile has a large meal, yeah, he might not eat for 2 weeks. If an alligator has got his fill, which is rare, then yeah, he might not eat for a week. But that all depends on the reptile, guys. That depends on how much they are able to consume. Most of the time, alligators are normally ready to eat every second of every day. Oh, yeah. Yes, alligator and crocodile meat is very good. There's actually 5 different kinds in there. You know, there's white meat, just like in a chicken. There's dark meat, just like in a chicken. There's a meat that's similar to pork. And there's a meat that's similar to beef. And there's one more. Oh, yeah, there's a meat similar to fish inside of an alligator. So, yeah, they've got 5 different kinds of meat in them. And, you know, it's very interesting because you use the legs, it tastes like pork. Makes some great jambalaya. Never had alligator. It's really good. What's up, Superior? We were just talking about the American alligator. Haven't ever tried it, Chester? You got to try it one day, man. Find yourself a nice Cajun restaurant and go try some fried alligator. Either that or order you some frozen alligator over the internet and have it delivered to you. And then cook it yourself. But be careful, because if you cook it wrong, it tastes a little too fishy. Oh yeah, alligator jerky is really good. You know, alligator has become a staple of a lot of people's diets around here. A lot of things you haven't eaten, there's a bit more exotic taste like chicken. Oh yeah, there's a bit more exotic taste out there. Quite a bit. Because, like, turtle has got some meats in it that is all its own. It's all its own, you know, guys. And these different types of muscle equal to different types of flavor, you know, because part of a turtle is gamey, part of a turtle isn't. Part of a turtle is very poultry-like, not necessarily chicken, but very poultry-like in texture and look. And then some of it is like a fish, some of it's like pork, some of it's a little bit more beefish. You know, it all depends on what part of the animal you're deciding you're going to eat. You know, guys. And Chuck, get away from the stand before you ever even start it. But, you know, there's definitely a lot more exotic stuff out there that you can eat. Now, the last little bit I'm going to get on about the American alligator, guys, is they're in a bit of trouble, especially in Florida. You know, in Florida, we're having the problem with invasive species. You know, there's a lot of tegu species out there that'll raid alligator nests, and alligators don't know what they smell like, don't know what to look for. So these are predators that they don't know anything about. There's tegus, there's iguanas, there's monitor lizards, there's all kinds of things that have been released into Florida. But the largest problem is the reticulated python. The reticulated python, the African rock python, what's up, McCash, and the Burmese python have all been released into Florida, which are causing devastating effects to the alligator population. They're eating smaller alligators, not letting them grow up, and they're trying to eat bigger alligators. And the bigger alligators are tearing their way out of them. If you haven't seen that picture of that giant python that had the alligator that ripped its way through its stomach, there's been more pictures like that. So, you know, guys, that's just a quick little overview and some basic things about the American alligator. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. But for right now, it's going to be a hangout session. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go take me a little puff of tobacco, and I'll be right back. Chuck, get away from the stand. You guys ought to be happy with me. I slowed back down, guys. I'm back on the road to quitting cigarettes. So, yeah, that's something I'm going to be working on. But, yeah, guys, I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you all for the 12 likes. You know, we had a great conversation about the American alligator and its habits, its locations that you can find it in, its food, everything. You know, so I'm very glad that you guys showed up for that. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it for sure. Nice, McCash. I'm glad to hear that. But, you know, guys, thank you all for being here. That's all I got to say. And I'll leave it at that. All right. You're still here just multitasking, my Jin. I got you. Is everybody else still here? There's Chester. But yeah, invasive species just aren't cool. For real, for real. Yeah, I get you, man. Because, man, some of my favorite species are getting wiped out because of these things. You know, and that's the reason why I enjoy the spot in Texas where I'm at. It's cold enough for the American alligator to be able to survive, but it's too cold for any of these invasive species to be able to be found. It doesn't kill enough animals that we have to worry about. You know, the ball python mainly goes after rats, and your coast has alligators? Nice, Jin. Hello, my shove. I know. You got 20 minutes before it's time to eat. You'll be okay. You got 20 minutes before it's time to eat, you little black bastard. You got 20 minutes before it's time to eat, you little Labrador bastard. Yes, you are, but you're mine. I love you. Yes, I do. What you want? What you want? What you want? What you want? Hills look like black on the top and pink on the bottom with the number 40. Oh. I also think it's crazy the sheer amount of species that become extinct every year. Yes, man, and the sheer amount of species that go extinct that's our fault is ridiculous. Chuck, are you hungry? Let me go get him some food, guys, and I'll return. Here you go, Chef. I even got you a little extra, so you'll leave me alone. Eat up, big boy. Eat up, big boy. All right, guys. I am back. Sorry about that, McCash. You know, sorry about that, everybody. I had to feed my Shuck. You know, he's got a good meal in his system now. He's over there. Well, not in his system yet. He's over there still eating it, as you can see. I gave him an extra large bowl today. He's been a very exceptionally good boy. So, he's getting extra food, guys. Nice big old bowl. Thank you very much, Chester. You know, I love my Shuck a lot. That dog has went out into the swamps with me as much as I've gone out into the swamps. He's been doing it since he was a puppy. And that dog's seen his fair share of alligators. He had one that he was beside the bank. And I sat there, I had his leash. And I happened to look up just in time to notice one coming his way. And I had to yank him real hard. Yes, what? I have a girlfriend. Her name is Jen Jen. She's here in the chat. That's why it says, "Hi, Shuck, Mama loves you." So, yes, I do have a girlfriend. She lives in North Carolina, but I have a girlfriend. And I'm in Southeast Texas. So one day we're going to meet each other. But for right now, we're working on getting a few things taken care of first. We can't kiss yet. We're not in the same state. What exact breed is my dog? I like to know. It's a Labrador, but is there any other else mixed in? Yes, he has Pit Bull, Blackmouth Cur, Ridgeback Cur, and Irish Setter. That's what all's mixed into it. But he's literally like more 75%, more 75% Labrador. His dad was pure AKC registered. So he's mostly got a Labrador and Pit in him. But the rest of it's Cur and Setter. Which makes him a really good dog. It made him really easy to train. Yes, I am a YouTuber. I make 2 to 3 shows a day. Today we're doing Clint's Critter Chat. Well, we did. And you got an alligator or crocodile off your dog. That's impressive and crazy. I didn't get him off my dog. I yanked my dog out the way before the alligator got there. And he managed to actually take a launch out of the water at Shuck. But he never managed to get him. No. But it's because I've seen him coming before he could see me. You know, I'm not the old man that wrestled the Chihuahua away from the 3-footer. I'm not that guy. You know, because, all right, my love. See you later, Jin Jin. But I'm not kind of crazy enough to stick my fingers in an alligator's mouth. But, you know, Shuck was, I think, 6 months when that happened. You know, it was a good 9-foot alligator coming at him. But we ended up chasing it off with boat paddles. I know you are, my Jin Jin. But we had to chase it off with boat paddles to get it away from the campsite. It came in smelling the food, smelling Shuck, hearing all the noise. I live in Southeast Texas. There what? Shuck, that's all you got. You're going to have to wait till later. You ain't going to sit there and hog out and throw up. It ain't going to happen. You going to wait till about noon and have lunch. Okay? Okay. I love my dog. You live in Texas? That's cool. What? But yeah, guys, it's interesting when you actually get into these. Her dog is a Yorkie Shih Tzu with some terrier in her, and my younger dog is a Dachshund Terrier, and also really cool because instead of short brown fur, she has long blondish fur. That's cool. Yeah, I can show you my dog. What? He sat right there looking for extra food, even though he had 4 scoops of food, the fatty. That is cool, though. You know, like Fabio of Dachshunds. I am blonde. I am gorgeous. Well, guys, it looks like, well, never mind. We got a couple more people showing up. But yeah, guys, it looked like we didn't have anybody there for a second, so I was about to cut the show off. Yeah, I think it's crazy that when she fully stretches out, she's no longer than my leg. Yeah, I got you there too. You know, it's pretty awesome with Shuck because the only problem I have with him is that when the lights go out, I cannot see that sucker. I will trip over him over and over and over again because with him being a black lab, the lights go out. That's all you seeing is just darkness. Oh, I'm not showing off there. What? I'm being me. There's a difference between showing off and just being who you are. Guys, and I'm not trying to show off. I'm just being who I am. And enjoying it. If you can't enjoy yourself and who you are, then, man, maybe you need to step back and look at yourself. I also find it near that whenever she's, like, napping, she curls up. But when she's, like, sleeping at night, she's just fully stretched out. I don't get that either. Sometimes Shuck's curled up. Sometimes he's stretched out. I guess they get, uncomfortable just like people. Yes, I only have a dog. I love cats, but I only have a dog right now because Shuck doesn't love cats. So I can't have a kitty. Plus, currently, I'm on a fixed budget because I'm trying to get out from underneath disability. But they put me on a fixed budget because I have epilepsy. So they took my ability to work from me in the state of Texas. And made me mad. I like to work. But anyway, I'm trying to get out from underneath the disability. And I can't really afford a cat. What are you allergic from? I'm allergic to nothing. I'm allergic to broccoli, cauliflower, coconut, pineapple, and blueberry. That's what I'm allergic to. As much as I love them, they can be idiots sometimes. Like yesterday, I was throwing a ball with her in my backyard, and when I threw it, she wrapped her leash around me, and I almost fell on her. Yeah, Shuck's done that to me before. Went around behind me and tried to take my legs out from underneath me. Whenever he does that, just let the leash go. He'll stop. Oh, I got you. But the way I've got my Shuck trained is if that leash comes out of my hand and he doesn't feel that slack, he stops. He stops and he lays down. True. The only reason why I haven't afforded a cat is, and of course my Jin's allergic to milk. She's lactose intolerant. But the only reason why I haven't gotten a cat, aside from Shuck, is because Shuck and the other dogs won't appreciate it, and a cat's more expensive. I gotta buy litter, I gotta buy a litter box, I gotta buy food. With a dog, all I gotta do is buy food. So I can actually afford having a dog better. You would love if you'd be allergic to pineapple. Not the way I am. You so much as touch a pineapple, and you're Benadryl. Yeah, your life sucks because there's so much stuff with pineapple in it. Yeah, I got you, my Jin. But yeah, guys, Shuck, hush. Just because they're barking doesn't mean you're allowed to bark. You bark when somebody knocks on my door. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, the only way I can even drink some orange juices is if I make sure it's pure orange juice. Because some orange juice actually has pineapple juice in it. Ooh, penicillin and amoxicillin. That stuff would be horrible. But now you're only allergic to hazelnuts. Man, hazelnuts are good too. That sucks. But then again, I love the taste of broccoli, cauliflower, blueberries, pineapples, and coconuts. I love the taste of them. But I can't have any of them. We learned about every last one of those the hard way. Oh, good Lord. Mom rushes me to the hospital. There was no broccoli this time. Well, Miss Gage, did you use this? Why? Because he's allergic to that too. Oh, crap. So, yeah, it was just one of those, I didn't know. But I kind of developed these allergies as I grew older. I didn't have them when I was younger. When I was a little kid, I never had any. Yeah, Caucasian Asian American alligator is very, very tasty. You know, you actually came in right after we had a conversation about the American alligator. Yeah, there's a similar enzyme in all that I'm allergic to. That's for sure. Hazelnut is hard to explain. I don't know much about it. But yeah, alligator is super tasty. And thank you for coming in, Caucasian Asian. You know, that's amazing to have you here. You know, we're doing great with the Clint's Critter Chats. So maybe next time you can come in for the full episode. We're going to be having one over the American alligator gar next Sunday or next Saturday. And then the one right after that is going to be over the southeastern water moccasin, guys. So that's a viper. That's a type of snake. So I hope you guys will be here for that. All I remember is hazelnut is Nutella as much as I know. I mean, I know they grow in Europe, and that's about as much as I know about a hazelnut. Yeah, you can see it Saturday. We'll catch Clint's Critter Chat Saturday with the American alligator gar, and then we'll have the American water moccasin right after that. She's right above you there. What? Jin Jin. All right, Chester, we'll see you later. American chestnuts are superior. You know, it depends on who the chestnuts are attached to. Oh, man. It was nice seeing you too, Chester. See you later. God bless you, man. Anyway, we're going ahead and take off out of here ourselves, probably. But, you know, guys, it's been great having anybody here. Or having everybody here, not anybody, everybody. And thank you all so much for participating in Clint's Critter Chats. You know, it's wonderful to have people ask questions about the beautiful animals in my area. Oh, okay, I got you, Caucasian. I was making a joke. What's up, Brentley? But anyhow, guys, wonderful having you all here. It's great having such an amazing, strong presence here. You know, we had a lot of wonderful questions about the American alligator and how it reproduces, how it breeds, how it eats, how it creates its nests, all those things. We had great questions about those. We had some good information and some actually really good pictures this time instead of the bullcrap ones that we had last time. So I do apologize for the hog pictures. I'm going to try find some better gar pictures. Oh, she looks very beautiful there, my friend. What? I like bugs. My daddy makes me smoke cigarettes if I don't eat my skitty. I got the wig in my pocket. Yeah, I remember that one. That was actually kind of me as a kid without the my daddy makes me smoke cigarettes. All right. Guys, there's my Jin Jin's channel. If y'all want to go check it out, that's at JenHolder976. At JenHolder976. Go check her out, everybody. You know, it's wonderful to have all of y'all here. We've only got about less than 4 more minutes left. And I'm probably going to go on ahead and end the show now. So thank you all for showing up. Thank you all for being here. I don't know if I'm going to end it just yet. I might. I don't know. I am being indecisive. I'll give you a shout out, Brentley Sexton. How you doing? Oh, man. I got to get up and walk around for a little bit, guys. Whew. The butt. It hurts. Oh, the only problem with a spring mattress. And people wonder why I fall asleep in the living room on the recliner all the time. But I guess I'm just your typical American poverty level guy. I fall asleep on my recliner, and I very rarely sleep in my bed. And I always tend to fall asleep to a movie, guys. It almost always happens. I'll start watching a movie and I'll pass out. Never fails. But anyway, guys, let's see how much time we got left. We only got about 2 more minutes left. So I want to thank everybody here who gave me all the likes. I want to thank everybody here who showed up for Clint's Critter Chats. And like I said, thank you for the wonderful questions. These animals are a huge part of my life. Alligators are literally the second biggest animal in my life. So, after all, I am named after an alligator. Yeah, Gator. So, yes, my name is Clint, but my nickname is Gator. So, I thank you all for joining so much. Y'all are the backbone of YouTube. You guys are always the lifeblood of this channel and every other channel out there. These content creators, they don't give you guys enough credit. And I'm here to tell you guys, thank you. Y'all are amazing. Y'all make channels work. Y'all make us popular. If it wasn't for y'all, we would be nothing. There would be no Clint's Critter Chats. There'd be no Caucasian Asian. There'd be nobody. It would just be an empty website with music videos. It'd be another MySpace. So thank you all so much for being here. And remember, when you're out in the swamps, if it looks like a log, but it's moving, it might not be a log. So pay attention. Remember, swamps can be a dangerous place, but they can also be a beautiful, wondrous, and amazing place to explore. So always go in pairs, never go alone. Always carry supplies in case you get lost. And never, ever go without some form of protection. And I don't mean prophylactics. I mean, go out there with a Bowie knife, a hatchet, machete, something. Go out there with some form of protection, because you never know what you're going to run into. All right, guys. So thank you. This has been Clint's Critter Chat. So we'll see you next time here on the Swamps. See you from a swamp. Later from a gator. Love you, mama. Love you, papa. Love yourself. Be kind. Always find a way to help, guys. We'll check you all here next time, next Saturday, for Clint's Critter Chats, where we're going to be talking about the American alligator. So we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.